welcome to another episode of What Do You Need to Know to Live in Costa Rica? I am Patrick Jager, joined as always by my good friend and business partner, Aaron Bailey. And
Hello.
today's hello. Today's topic is one that is kind of personal to me. I was at the bank the other day and taking my time because it takes a lot of time, and that's part of this conversation. And there was a expat couple sitting near me who were very frustrated. They had been there for 5 hours. They were trying to do something. They couldn't get it done. They didn't have the right paperwork. They were getting very angry because everything takes a long time. And at one point, their teller went away. And so I talked to him. I said, is this the first time you've been to the bank? Yes. And this is ridiculous. There's no reason things should be this slow. And so we had this long conversation about the reason things are the way they are in Costa Rica. Because the question is, why is it so much harder to do certain things in Costa Rica? So we figured, let's do a video that kind of talks about this, because it is true. There are certain things here that to someone living in a Western European or a Canadian or American town would go, why does that happen? That makes no sense. Aaron, you've had the same problem. Why does it happen, and why does it make no sense?
Well, first of all, I think there's an added layer of difficulty because we are foreigners. Locals sometimes they have it much easier to get through the system. But the reality is that Costa Rica is a really stable economy and stable government, and so they try to protect that. Mexico and other Central American countries have a lot of problems with money laundering and crime and so many other things that Costa Rica prevents against. And so there's just an added layer of bureaucracy of making sure that you're legit, you're not laundering money, you aren't going to commit crimes with that money. It's important for the government and for myself too that there is a stable banking system in Costa Rica.
You know what's interesting about saying that, the laundering of money, there are countless stories. When I was last in New Zealand, I had one day to buy a house if I wanted to buy a house, because the law was changing. They weren't going to allow foreigners to buy property. Why? Because foreigners bought up all this property basically as money hubs. You
Uh-huh.
see the same thing in London and New York and all these other places where people do this. Here, yeah, everything takes longer. I one time wanted to exchange $100 bill for colones, and I had to give them my passport. They did a whole background check on me just to change money that I had. Well, what would stop me from that being a laundered bill? They really take this stuff seriously. And you're right, they do it because they are a stable democracy surrounded by, let's just call it out, Honduras, Nicaragua, Panama, Venezuela, Colombia, like all these other countries pass through here. And so if it takes you an extra few hours to get something done, it's because they're crossing every T, dotting every I, or accenting every I, and they want to make sure that it is a legitimate purchase. But the same thing is true, Aaron, when people do international transfers here. It takes you, I mean, we both had the problems of transfers that go awry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They scrutinize every transfer that comes into this country, rightly so. And there's literally a human being reviewing everything. So, does it suck to wait a little bit
Yeah,
more? Yeah, it
yeah.
does. It sucks. But also knowing that my money is safe in the bank account that took me 8 hours well, that took me 6 hours to open on a very hot day. I had to wait outside for a good amount of that. Yeah, that sucks. But the system is in place and you're not going to change it. And part of moving to Costa Rica is just learning to roll with the punches and embracing it. And I promise it's all going to work out in the end.
So there's Pura Vida, which is just, allow life to be what life is. And then Aaron and I have dubbed Pura fucking Vida, because
For a fucking Vita.
PFV, because because there are some things that just suck, but it's true. And to your point, you can alleviate some of that because I
Yeah,
learned from your mistakes, and we now teach people from our mistakes how to bring all the right documentation. So when I went to open my bank account, it only took me 3 hours
yeah,
to so I because I had all my documentation. You have to have someone, you actually have to have a countryman that has an account at that bank vouch
yeah.
for you. And so I had all that in a row and was able to go in. Again, to your point, and again, we're beating a dead horse here. And the same thing is true, by the way, when you buy a car, all kinds of things. But the reality
It's
is this
turning
is
on
all,
electricity and water, like
it's for
all the
your
utilities.
protection.
Yeah,
It's for everyone's protection. So yeah, PFV, man. It just is what it is. If you want to live here,
we're a
there are
fucking
certain
vida.
things you just have to know are going to be the thing. So here's the reality. If you can get past the challenges, if you can adapt to the system as it is here and realize that you have to adapt to it, not the other way around, um, even if you want to say PFV all the time, then maybe this is the right place for you to live. If you can't, it might not be. If you have questions on that, that's when you come to us. Let us help you figure that out. How did they do that, Aaron?
Shoot us an email, hola, HOLA, at
Hola.
yourpurevita.com. Hola at yourpurevita.com. Check out our website. So many good blog posts and resources there. Yourpurevita.com/links. If you liked this video, we would love for you to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel because we've got so many good things coming up that we want to share with you and others. And we're here really just to spread the love and you know make sure that everyone has the resources that they need to thrive in Costa Rica.
Spreading the love. Here to say,
Spread the
Pura
love.
Vida.
Pura vida.
See you soon.